as well as a whole bunch of other bits and pieces. I'm going to definitely check all the emails shortly for the heavy metal trivia, so I'll be revealing those answers shortly as well. So let's check out something that's out next week that I've been caning quite a bit on this show. We're talking about Cog, the new album, the new normal, the track called Anarchy OK. Got some tour dates for these guys coming up shortly too, as well as a whole bunch of other tours as well. So have your pens and papers handy. TripleJ. Sorry man, it's habit.
Bruut TV komt deze keer uit Australië. Uit Melbourne om precies te zijn, want daar woont de Australische metal-icoon Andrew Haug. Hij presenteert er al een flink aantal jaar over de hele wereld gewaardeerde metalprogramma Full Metal Racket. En dat doet hij op het radiostation TripleJ, zeg maar de tegenhanger van 3FM. Daarnaast werkt hij ook nog voor een groot metal label en speelt hij samen met zijn tweelingbroer Paul in de driemansformatie Contrive. En dat doen ze niet onverdienstelijk, want ze zijn al voorprogramma geweest van onder andere Megadeth, Sepultura en Machine Head. Reden genoeg dus om naar Melbourne af te zakken en op bezoek te gaan bij deze metalmeester Andrew Haug. Is your life all that you've designed? Do you look for something more to come along?
Well, in a word, Full Metal Racket. Pretty much. It's a 2-hour show every week, and it's a matter of trying to cram in as much as you can. I mean, I get sent a whole heap of mail every week of not just bands from Australia but overseas, and you just try and keep it diverse. I mean, there's certain styles I'm not a big fan of, but I know fans out there or people want to hear that, so you try and play what you can, and it's virtually impossible every week to fit it all in, because obviously there's interviews with bands, I've got gigs to read out, local interviews too, bit of news, I play a bit of heavy metal trivia as well just to test the brains. Yeah, it's just chock-a-block every week, as we say, and just try and keep it broad and just sort of show the different sides of heavy music. You know, metal is so diverse now, you can't afford to sort of just play one style, otherwise it gets boring. Oh God, where do I start? That's a tough one. I mean,
begin with the worst.
There haven't been that many.
No?
No, I mean, the hardest is just some bands who don't really want to talk. Either they're tired, jet lag, hungover, or just don't really know how to speak. It's funny because you kind of think that bands will know how to speak as much as someone on radio, but most bands just don't know how to talk sometimes. They probably get a bit nervous, and you try and make them as comfortable as you can, and most of the time they give you a couple of word answers, and yeah, not a lot. I can't really think of many bands offhand that I've really had trouble talking to. If they're going to give me short answers, well, you can't push any further than that. You know, if that's just their personality, well, then that's it. You can't mistake it for arrogance. Some other people in the media might take that as, oh, I spoke to him and he was really arrogant because he said yes, no. But most bands, I find they're probably a bit shy. But the highlights, spoken to Ozzy Osbourne face to face several times over the years, not just with TripleJ, but with the other station. He's always a pleasure to talk to. James Hetfield from Metallica, we did a face-to-face with him January 2004, I think, last year, when he was here for the big day out, and that was like a side show, and it was just me and James in a room, no distraction, and I was like, dude, what's up? You know, especially after the whole St. Anger experience they had, and the movie had just been done as well, and James had a lot of hassles. You know, he was really forthcoming with talking about things, and it's just like speaking to an uncle. You know, he was just straight up, and that was definitely a highlight for me. And I was, you know, really nervous as well, just because, you know, I've been listening to his music for years, so I was like, wow. He was just as casual as they come. I just treat them like people and try and present as professionally as I can. But yeah, Metallica, well, I can't think at the moment. There's a whole heap more, but I'm sure they'll come to my head in a minute. It just takes us worldwide. I mean, I love the fact that I get emails from people in different sides of the world listening during their day at the office, like yourselves, and people in the UK, and it's like, wow, this is cool, you know, because we're obviously put on the evenings late, you know, 11 o'clock our time, and there's obviously a thing we've got where if, you know, some people say it's on a bit too late and kids fall asleep or whatever, but they can get up in the morning and listen to the show again for the whole week until the following Tuesday, which is a bonus. But as far as other countries, I think it's awesome. They get to hear a lot of Australian bands that I feature as well. They probably don't know much about the scene we have here. And I guess they get to hear a different type of radio presentation than what they're normally used to at home. I mean, they get to hear an Aussie accent, which probably would make them, you know, I listen to American internet metal radio, and you know, I guess just because it's on a different part of the world, it's interesting to see how they present their shows with their culture included, and the way they, you know, put their show together. So I think it's important. I just got to spread metal worldwide, not just in Australia. Yeah,
True.
Everywhere. Dutch bands, Xenomorph. What else is there? Gorefest, brutal. What's up? False album from Dynamo '93, brutal. Was it the Eindhoven Insanity? I have that one.
Yeah.
God, what else is there? Within Temptation, which is really good. I heard they're like massive over there for you guys. The Gathering. Dutch bands. What else is there? Sinister, I think, are from Holland. Yep. A Cult. I think a Cult or a Culto. Featured a female singer who left and joined Sinister. Brutal growler. God, what else is there? There's a few Dutch bands. Epica, courtesy of Edwin. God, there's a few of them. Just trying to think if I've covered most of them. From what I remember, I mean, it's probably what it's like over there for you guys with the Australian scene. You know, you might be able to reel off 4 or 5 names, and that'll be it. So I guess as far as European bands, Sweden's definitely the saturated scene that everyone in this country just thinks every metal band from Sweden is just like, you know, and most of them are great, don't get me wrong, but yeah, there's other better countries in Europe as well. It's got some good shit. Yeah, I play in a band too called Contrive, metal. Been that band for since '99. We're a 3-piece with my twin brother on guitar, vocals, and bass player Tim, and I play drums, and we just try and do our own thing, a little bit different to, you know, most sort of bands we like to think anyway, and just get out there like any other band and make a go at it, you know. I think that's all you can do, and at the same time, I guess with the jobs I've had over the years, it's giving me more of a professional business approach, which I think is an important thing to have. A lot of bands don't know the business, and some bands tend to ignore it and expect other people to take care of it. Then you hear about them being screwed over, and I always encourage bands, especially if some of them ask me for advice, I just tell them, you know, if someone's running your business, make sure you look over their shoulder, because it's a vital thing that your career's in someone else's hands. It's, you know, it can stuff you up, and I think that bands should have a business sense, be it they like it or hate it, you know. Business isn't always the greatest thing. You want to get out and rock out and party and all that sort of stuff, but you've got to make sure what's going on behind the scenes too, because, yeah, there are vultures out there, and there's certainly a lot of them in this industry, and, you know, they're always there around the corner, so have your wits about your bands, study hard, you can rock.
We are Contrive from Melbourne. This one's called My Way of Choice. Let's do this.